everybody. Welcome to episode 117 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, who's digging in ruins today with me.
Oh man, screwed it up already. Hippopotamus K. Hughes.
Good.
My name's Matt.
And I'm Dominic.
All right, welcome aboard, guys. Dominic's been on 2 times. This is your 3rd time on, right?
It's my 3rd time.
Okay.
I've been your Metroid boy, but now I'm here for Mega Man.
They both start with M.
M-E.
Good point. And then Matt is a newcomer. But Dominic, where my people might know you from?
I've been around on the Overblood Facebook group. I have a podcast called Dissonant Waves. I've been writing for Tilted Windmill Studios. I've been in a few places.
Okay. Matt, do you have anything to plug?
Not really. I've also, been hanging around the Overblood group for the last decade. And if people are really interested, they could find me on Twitch, where I stream sporadically at Mezza503. That's Mezza.
Okay. I'm glad I asked. Normally I ask before we start, but that didn't happen. So,
And,
Michael, where can the people find you?
Everywhere. If you're listening to this, you already found me. So you can find me and Mike doing this a lot. 100 and some. God, I'm not even sure how many episodes we recorded together so far. All right, Mike. Since this is your pick, why don't you talk? Why don't you say what we're going to talk about?
Man, we're killing it today. We were playing MegaMan Legends, released for the PS1 originally in 1997.
God, is that old?
Yeah, it's almost 25 years old.
It was December of 97, to be fair.
True.
And the 64 version was January 2001.
Wow, that late?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, we should say what version, since this game does have 2 versions. I played the PS1 version on my PC. PC. What version did you guys play?
I played it on my Vita for the PS1 Classic version.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I did the 64 version, the actual cartridge.
And I did the PlayStation 1 version.
Okay. I own this I actually bought this on PS3 digital, which might rest in peace here soon, depending when you hear this.
Yeah.
But I've always been terrified of this game, so I want to say a year before the podcast, I said, I'm going to beat Mega Man Legends. I started up, I played it, I got to the first boss fight, I turned off my PS3 and never went back until this past week.
Like the tutorial boss fight?
Oh, no, I'm okay with that part. It's when you get to into the city.
Yeah, okay.
And I can't do it. For some reason, I just could not. I was always terrified, because I had a guide to this game. Plus, I've seen this game beaten, so I knew everything that was coming up, and I just couldn't do it. I was scared of nothing. I would turn off the game every time and just never bothered. Anybody else have any stupid memories of this game when they first played it?
I mean, anxiety is an anxiety thing, I get that. But, go ahead.
Sorry. No, my bad.
These aren't that hard. It's not that terrible.
No. Just, I built it up.
Yeah.
So it made it harder.
I rented this game one weekend with a handful of other games, and I couldn't tell you what those games were because I think this is the only one that got played that entire weekend. I think I beat it 3 times in my rental weekend.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I mean, this game is short, though, if you know what you're doing, or even if you don't know what you're doing, it's not that long.
My first playthrough probably took a whole day. Well, Friday night into Saturday, and then the second and third playthroughs just took place over Saturday night through Sunday before it got dropped off on Monday.
That's incredible.
I absolutely adored this game when I first picked it up.
It's still a good game. I mean, so for those that don't know, it's a third-person action game, which is not what you normally would expect from Mega Man.
It's a huge departure.
Open world, in quotations, let's say. And it has a town. You can buy stuff. You can buy upgrades. You can find items throughout the world that then you can use to upgrade Mega Man. Walnut, that is. You can also go in dungeons and fight things over and over again to earn money. Like, it's a very different style game than what you would expect.
So is Battle Network, for that matter.
I have never played it yet.
But I think it's weird that people have had this negative preconception about Legends because it's so different. But then, they play Battle Network and it's fine.
Hey, Mike, have you ever played Battle Network?
I beat the first one back when it first came out, and I tried to go back to it, but it's RPG, so it's a time sink.
Okay. Because thanks to you, I actually finally played Mega Man Legends. So if you want to put Battle Network on, I'll gladly knock off more off my list.
I mean, I think they're fun. But Legends is a much more digestible game for your purposes, I think.
I was 11 when I played this game, and I think this game looks, sounds like, and plays like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
And I think that's what really drew me into it.
Well, all the characters are so cartoony, too. Like, you have Data, which is a little freaking monkey That is how you save and get healed.
From the whole Bond family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are really very much a cartoon.
Yeah.
And you have Tron Bond, which is the girl, which is kind of like your crush or something.
She has a crush on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mega Man's oblivious.
Mega Man's kind of an idiot.
Well, Mega Man's just rolling around.
Yeah.
So the whole story of this game is that you're a digger, and the world is covered in oceans, and you start off in a little dungeon area, which kind of gets you used to the gameplay, and they give you a tutorial, and oh, it's a Reaver bot, Mega Man! And little robots come out, you shoot them, and then they pop out, Zenny, which is money in this game, and that's how the game starts, and then it just kind of goes from there from one issue to the next as things are happening, which I think is very interesting. I really like the role in this game. I don't really care for Gramps. I like Data, but it's a very interesting little family that he had and a team.
That's sort of it struck me as a whole bunch of misfits who sort of fell in together. Like Gramps just sort of adopted these two.
Yeah.
And they just run around adventuring together.
I, for the longest time, thought that Mega Man Walnut was his son or something like that, or somebody he created, but I want to say if the story goes on, I'm pretty sure he was not.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
We'll get there, but yeah, that's what I did take away from it. I also really like Roll in this game a lot. I like her design.
Yeah.
It's really cool and the way she is in this game.
I do want to highlight that the world building and the storytelling, as simple as it is actually pretty smart. And that it is the first game and it just drops you in and it has everything kind of established. It doesn't even bother really telling you everything. They hinted a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But all the characters have defined personalities. They really didn't need to go this hard, but they did.
Yeah, it didn't do them well though, unfortunately, with sales.
I thought no, it didn't. I was actually looking into that last night because Legends. One of the things that I really thought it was awesome is all the voice acting, not cutting over anything like that for all the cutscenes and stuff like that. And this game came out a full year before Ocarina of Time and almost a year before Metal Gear Solid. And I don't think it gets as much credit as it deserves for what it was doing before those two benchmark games.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I never thought about that. I guess I didn't really put two and two together. I think about the years when that came out. That's cool though, because this game does do a lot of firsts then, or at least first that people may not have seen very many times before. What always attracted me was the RPG elements. And I love RPGs, and that the fact that you could upgrade Mega Man is what got me so excited. And I think that's a big part of my anxiety with this game for so long was that I wanted to upgrade Mega Man before I get into boss fights. I want to run around some dungeons and fight things, and you're dropped very quickly into boss fights, and that's what put me off so much for this game. It made me terrified it for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I loved about. I would just go and just grind dungeons and look for parts and go buy parts and upgrade everything. And it was sort of I had the same problem with Diablo 2, where just go and just grind and find stuff and get stronger. And it was the same, before Diablo 2's Mega Man Legends, and it was just so addicting for me.
Yeah, I have a problem now where I've played this a number of times where I just have my routes that I go through, and I forget that other stuff happens that I've never done. I've never done the bank robbery thing.
Oh, and that's a side mission at the very end of the game, right?
And I forgot about it completely until somebody mentioned it in the chat.
I didn't do it. I think I read about it. Mike, I think you were talking about that, weren't you? Or you were talking about the side missions?
It's the easiest way to get 200,000 Zenny and become completely black.
Oh, because you can take the money home.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why didn't you tell me when I did that side quest? I'm like, oh, okay. Because he changes colors if you do certain things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The morality system.
Kicking the vending machines.
You can kick the vending machines?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest way. Yeah.
They give you free drinks, and then eventually they just explode.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't do that either.
Did you guys talk to the artist?
What artist?
So there's an artist in the near the lake.
Oh yeah.
And she's she's painting a building, and she's like, I need this thing needs something, and you either tell her that it needs talent or that it needs red.
If you do the it needs talent, I think it prompts you 2 or 3 more times.
Yes.
Are you sure? Is that really what you said?
Yeah, and then I think that's the evil choice, so you get darker.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
You can meet her at the end. She's like, I still feel like I'm missing something.
Okay, I didn't do any of that type of stuff. I wouldn't really I just kind of stuck with the main part of the game because I was just trying to get through it because that's me. But it's early on when you do get dropped off in this island that you end up on because your ship. How did they ever explain how your ship got damaged that leads you to the island? Is it from when you got that Reaver in the first intro dungeon?
I think it just has issues.
Okay. It just sucks.
Yeah, it's probably just made a scrap.
Yeah, it's just like held together with like baling wire and bubble gum.
I mean, I also didn't really think about this, but it's kind of an apocalyptic world in a sense because the whole world is flooded.
It's Wind Waker.
It's a totally different take than Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
It's just Wind Waker, but you're in an airship and not a boat.
Swimming underwater to go get dirt.
Yeah, no, this is all, happy and bright pastel colors. And
like, how much do you want to bet that Wind Waker took inspiration from this game?
That's a very good possibility.
Because you got the art style, you got the water world, you've got it's Mega Man, but not, it's Link, but not. Roll's different, just like Zelda's different.
Okay.
You got like a whole, like everyone's kind of introduced, and there's kind of new characters, kind of like the Bonds. It's not exactly a perfect fit, but there's a lot of similarities in a way.
Huh. I didn't think about all that, but you are right. That's not where I was this conversation to go.
Now a question I have is, did Inafune really like Kevin Costner's movie Waterworld? Is that where the inspiration for Mega Man came from?
He might have, because he made this. He was in charge of this game.
The timeline fits.
It was a huge. I know it was a huge commercial failure because it didn't do really good.
Well, the first one I think sold enough to get a sequel, a spin-off, and a port.
Yeah, but it didn't sell enough like Resident Evil 2 or other stuff that he did.
Oh no,
and the like cover art doesn't really lend itself because back in the day that's all you had to go off of when you were picking out games at the rental store. And I think it was the guy at the Blockbuster who talked me into renting this, or else I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I had first seen this game from a friend. That's what got me to know what it was and play it. But the cover art doesn't really speak to you. It's just Mega Man without a helmet on. It doesn't speak to you.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Just like Mega Man 2 is just Mega Man Legends 2 is just Mega Man with a helmet on now. Again, doesn't speak to you.
With a puke green background.
Oh, which is terrible because if you look at the Japanese cover art, it's so much better.
That's the usual thing. The Japanese cover arts are usually better.
I don't understand why they didn't put the Trons or something on the background that would have got people's attention.
Because Tron Bond the game was not a success either.
That came out after Mega Man Legends, right?
Yeah, Tron Bond came out June of '99.
Okay. And one thing, when you first get into the Apple market, okay, you are right. The Japanese version is way better. That's a cool cover. Okay, but when you get an Apple market, and it's very quickly on where you go into the city, and I think some things happen, and then you find out that you get dropped into your first boss fight. And this is where I was always terrified of because I knew that it was a multi-level boss fight. Like first you fight these three little guys that are driving tanks, and you have they toss a key back and forth. And if I remember correctly, you only have to kill whoever has the key, right?
Yeah.
I killed all three because they kept throwing the key, and I missed it, I guess. So I did not enjoy this fight, and then you go into the second fight with a big red spider tank, and that I did not like either. I think part of the fear was I knew can you fail if they destroy too much of the town?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what also scared me because I don't like escort missions that much.
That's a good question. I don't know that it's ever happened on any of my playthroughs.
Well, I think you have to save the city hall to some degree.
Yeah,
that's the next part. Yeah.
Okay. I know the city. Okay, maybe I'm confusing the two. I was just scared of wrecking the town. The city hall part.
Oh, right. Those parts are segmented up. That's right. Yeah,
you get to go heal at Data. I think you can go back to the store, which is what I did, and then you can go into City Hall area. But if you didn't know better, you'd run right there and all of a sudden be right in their boss fight.
Yep.
I think they warn you, but I did the City Hall part completely wrong. So for some reason, I wasn't listening when they were talking, which I normally would, but in this part, I wasn't listening to anything they were saying. I just wasn't concerned. I wasn't killing the helicopter enemies that drop off guys. I was fighting all the bulldozer guys one after another and just kept knocking them out. Like, God, I've killed 15 of these. When do they stop? Yeah. It took me a bit before I realized, I should be killing the other guys.
Yeah, and then you get Bon to appear.
Mama.
Oh, that's that other little... Is that supposed to be her little brother or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, there's some weird... If you go to the Capcom Unity and look at some of the threads on Mega Man Legends, there's some really bizarre theories about Bon. Okay.
My city hall was wrecked. My town was wrecked. I mean, everything was just in... the police station was wrecked. Nothing was destroyed, but everything was damaged very good. They wrecked City Hall area.
I think City Hall is the only critical path part of that mission. I think all the other ones are optional, and the only reason you would ever pay to rebuild them is for side quests later in the game.
And just because you're nice.
Yeah, and because you're not.
My favorite thing is like dumping a bunch of money into rebuilding something and then kicking some vending machines just to be evil again.
Mike, when you said you did this, you didn't have that much damage, did you?
No, the bank got like the first level of damage, and that was it.
Oh, so it didn't look like someone just almost blew up all the buildings like on mine, huh? I remember I messaged you afterwards. I'm like, was I supposed to just fight the copters? They're like, that's what they... I remember you telling me, like, that's what they said in the cutscene. I'm like, oh, yeah.
No, it's like during the fight, the news reporter's like, hey, the thing's dropping those tanks down, better destroy those first.
Yeah,
And also gives you the mission objective, too, in like a text screen.
And I wasn't paying attention.
You know, in hindsight, looking back on it, it is really bizarre that the mayor thinks that, like, oh, here's this strange 12-year-old boy who just saved our town. Maybe he's also loaded and will build a hospital for us.
Can you?
I mean,
are there extra buildings that you build if you give them money?
No, to rebuild them.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's a strange story narrative for me, I guess.
How much zenny does it even cost to rebuild everything?
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Like the condos are like 120,000 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of zenny. Even when I was doing later on, I was farming zenny the way that I was told to by the internet and Mike. It would take a long time.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that you get that much money.
No, and like I said, it's not critical path, and so I don't think I ever paid to rebuild anything.
Yeah, I didn't care.
But again, it's a 1997 PlayStation game with environmental destruction.
Yeah.
That you can like rebuild over time. It's like a city planning thing almost.
Which is not something you would probably see a lot. I mean, again, this game was ahead of its time.
We haven't even talked about the lock-on feature. I think it was the first game to do that.
Lock-on feature is not bad. I mean, sometimes it would annoy me because it would lock on enemies I didn't want to target, but again,
sure.
It's 1997, 98, so I understand. But
did anyone else reconfigure their controls to do the shoulder button?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, most definitely.
I mapped them to the right stick so I could move the camera like a normal game.
that was so much better.
Right.
Thanks to Mike, I did that, and I was just like, it made the game makes the game so much more enjoyable to use your right joystick as L1 and R1.
I do like using L1 and R1 and then like strafing basically. It is a fun thing when you get into it.
Yeah, because on the original PlayStation version, it didn't have analog, did it?
No.
No, yeah.
This is before analog, I think.
But the N64 version does.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, also, it's worth noting that in Japan there is a PSP port of both games.
You know, we did not get a lot of stuff for PSP that we missed out on a lot of good PSP games, I think.
We did.
We really did.
And we talked a little bit about the trombones. The trombones are these pirates that you're fighting throughout the game. Who are pretty much almost all the boss fights, well, not all, but a good chunk of the boss fights are fighting them and their different machines that they have and their different vehicles, and you deal with them. And then you also, I wasn't a big fan. Like, I like Tronbon. I don't care for her little brother. And I don't for Bonbon, or I don't care for, God, what the hell is the leader's name? The green guy. Yeah, I don't like him. He also doesn't. There are also no subtitles a lot when they talk. And sometimes I was listening to other things, and I couldn't hear what was being said.
Oh yeah, the audio mixing, especially in the N64 version, is terrible. You cannot hear half the things they're saying.
Yeah, this was before you could like turn down music, turn up, speech, stuff like that. It was not great.
But in the tutorial mission, they have the whole thing where Roll is trying to communicate with you, and she's like fading out and stuff. So they were definitely able to play with audio.
No, like as a player, you couldn't adjust the settings for yourself.
Right.
Which would have been nice. I'm betting it's an older game. I mean, I had other audio on in the background. That was my problem. I usually listen to
that.
Yeah, I do that a lot with games, especially with this game. When I was farming, I was just listening to other podcasts while I was just sitting there farming for hours and hours. But that's neither here nor there yet. After City Hall, you end up getting like the whole quest line of the game, where I think you're sent to go find the whole point of what you're doing. At least the first chunk of the game, you're trying to find more refractors to fix your ship, and you're also trying to find isn't there like a giant or some like giant treasure supposedly on this island you're looking for?
The mother load.
The mother load, yeah.
That was cool, by the way, guys. Okay, I paid attention to the story mostly, but apparently not enough.
The opening narration sets it all up.
Like I said, I paid attention a little bit to the story. I really enjoyed the gameplay though. Like, I really got a kick out of fighting. But I have a thing in game. If I kill an enemy, and you give me money or experience points, I will kill tons of enemies just for that little dopamine hit. So I killed everything in this game when I could. And that's one reason I really like MegaMan Legends, because I get stuff.
That's one of the things that a lot of people dog on MegaMan Legends about. Like, if we're just going to talk about killing things over and over again, is it's a lot of, strafe and shoot, circle, strafe and shoot, circle, strafe and shoot. And a lot of people didn't like how repetitive it was, but looking back on it, have games really, unless the boss fight's really gimmicky, have games really gotten past, just doing the same 2 or 3 things over and over again?
No.
No, not really. But I'm okay with that. Like, I don't, as long as the health bar isn't ridiculously huge where I have to dodge. Okay, I get a hit. Okay, do this 20, 30 more times. I don't mind. I just don't like really long health bars for no reason other than nutrition. That we want to add an hour on, more time in our gameplay, so we're going to make this take longer for no reason. I mean, Super Nintendo was really guilty of that, I think, or maybe early PS1 is very guilty. I know we played other games on the show, me and Mike have, that have had stuff like that that's really irritated me. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I know there's been boss fights like that. Oh, one game that does that. It's a really bad game called Parasite Eve 2. Does that all the time.
Oh, I know. I never played that game, but
Parasite Eve 1 is amazing. Don't play 2.
Okay.
I've heard 3 is even worse.
Oh, I'll find out in 2 months. But so I had no, like I was saying, I had no problem with the gameplay. I mean, yes, you are right. It is repetitive, but it's fun.
But that's the game. Like, Uncharted is the same thing. You're just running and shooting stuff in different locations. Like,
yeah,
it's all about guns.
Dark Souls is just roll and attack and roll and attack.
But I felt that this game changes up enough, at least in the areas that you're fighting, the enemies you're fighting aren't always the same. Like, you go from City Hall where you're fighting the bosses, you're running around in some fields and you're fighting tanks that are fun. I really, really like the tanks. I don't know why, but I really like them.
Plus, then you get new guns, you get new weapons. It is the progression of any modern game.
You get the helmet. One thing about this game is you have to look in garbage cans a lot to find stuff people throw away as you can give to Roll so she can make you equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mike had to help me out how to get the vacuum. I couldn't find it.
And the holes in the walls, too.
Oh, yeah.
Why is there so many things in holes in the walls in this game? I don't get it.
There's so much zenny.
A lot of people hide money in walls in this game. and like good items.
It's either that or turkey legs and trash cans,
It was just interesting to me how much stuff was hidden in trash cans and wall holes, not in chests. Like, chests wouldn't have the best stuff usually.
I think
they even have mimic chests.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, they're not as bad as Dark Souls mimic chests, though.
No, but like, again, there's a lot of ambition here.
Yeah, that was also something I had forgotten, or at least wasn't aware of that even coming up in the game. So when it happened, I was like, what the fuck? When all of a sudden started throwing mines at me. And you also get, like, you get a canteen that you can use in this game to heal you, which you can refill at the shop. Like, you can buy.
Upgrade it.
Yeah, you can buy items to refill your weapon meter. Like, you can upgrade different guns that you unlock throughout the game, or enhancements for his arm.
The helmet increases your knockback resistance.
You can buy better. You buy better armor pieces to cut down damage that you take.
You can buy medicine to deal status effects.
You can. Wow.
No, you can't.
Was that a 2 thing?
That's a 2.
That's probably a 2 thing.
Oh, okay. See, I believed you because I wouldn't have even checked. I didn't really check any of that stuff.
Honestly, I've played both of them so much they sort of run together in my brain.
For Capcom,
you can upgrade your life shield though.
Okay, I think I bought a life shield, but I never did anything with it. I don't think.
It's more of an internal system, and I don't really understand how it works, but it's just there.
Okay.
It's when your life meter turns red, you take more damage from the next attack or something.
Oh, that's okay. I remember seeing that, but I was really confused what it meant. It didn't explain it, and I didn't really.
It didn't explain it.
No,
when I hit F3, the problem was solved real fast.
A lot of MegaMan Legends on your first playthrough is a lot of like trial and error.
Yeah, not much to explain to you in this game at all. It's very just kind of you just kind of are fed it as the game progresses.
Except for that tutorial dungeon where every time you take a few steps, it pops up another information box. It's like, hey, this is money. Use it to buy things.
MegaMan?
Okay, you are right. Like, they don't shut up. You just keep, MegaMan, I sense a reaver bomb coming. It's going to be a big one. Like, you just keep having, that annoyed me a lot. But I'm like, stop talking to me.
Annoying in-game tutorials to begin the game. It is a modern-ass video game.
It really is.
I did get a big kick out of when you go to... Before you go to like the is it in the town where you get the Wily subs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an uptown.
that made me smile.
It is an uptown, yeah. That's where you go start that awful lake mission.
I almost forgot. I want to talk about Marwolf when you find out that the bot, like, you get to another boss fight where the bonds have like a giant tank and they're trying to dig a hole to get into this ruins.
Oh, that's the worst boss fight.
I didn't have a problem with it once I figured out what the hell I was doing. I had to watch a video because I was reading the guide, but I was just doing it wrong for some reason. We have to shoot the treads enough, which it doesn't really give you any hint that you're actually hurting the treads. I don't think, maybe a little bit, but nothing, like there's no life bar or anything. To finally they complain about it, and then I climb up and then jump on the back or something.
Yeah, the treads flash when you hit them, and I think that's supposed to be your indicator.
But it wasn't. I want a life bar. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It did flash, but it was just like I kept hitting it and nothing. It seemed like nothing was really happening other than the flashing. So I thought maybe it wasn't working.
Hit it a bunch.
Yeah, you do hit it a lot. I like the Marwolf fight. I mean, I think it's really simple. You just climb up, jump on the back of the truck, and then you just have to move side to side when he tries to smack you, and you just shoot when they open the door.
And that was the one that gave me the most trouble this time.
I think that fight would have been more fun had they done it when after you had enhanced jumping ability, because having to like jump and cling and climb like 3 or 4 times to get back up to a level to attack him got really old really quick.
Oh, this game also has wall climbing. That's right. Or ledge grabbing.
Yep.
Hey,
Metroid
did had that too. Nothing. Okay.
Before Metroid had it, you know.
Yeah. Okay, that would have been nicer. The super jump was so nice when you get it later in the game.
Oh, you feel like a superhero.
It was great. I really like Marwolf. I mean, I also had save state, so he could, even the one time he hit me, I just reloaded. So maybe that was partly why I enjoyed the fight. But that was another fight that terrified me because I saw this as a kid. My friend had this game. And I remember being in his room at his house, and he was playing this, and I remember seeing him. And there's another part that this game for some reason just scared the hell out of me. And I don't know why.
It is a lot of boss battles.
Yeah, and they don't look easy, and they're not easy. Even with save states, I had a couple trouble on a few of them where I had to really like practice and learn and keep reloading saves because I just wouldn't do the right thing. I get hurt all the time. So it's especially
prioritize attack and range stats.
Yeah, because you can upgrade because you get items you can give MegaMan for his Buster parts to increase energy too. I think is another thing.
Energy, range, rapidity, and attack.
Yeah, okay. And then you get the joint plug to where you can have 3 parts on your Buster.
Yes. We should talk about the wonderful lake.
That's my worst boss fight. Or just sequence in general.
Oh, Mike, before we started playing the game, you told me there was one part that I had to be completely like spec'd up for. Was it this part or was it later?
It's this.
It is.
Okay. You were right.
If you don't have enough range, you can't shoot the torpedoes coming at you, and your ship will take too much damage, and then it's game over.
Yep.
Okay. This is a long fucking fight, too, though.
It really is.
I do like the Frogman ship, though.
The ship was really cool. I just, again, I realize I really don't like escort missions, and that's what this game is.
It's not that much of an escort mission.
It was enough of an escort mission for me to
having to keep your boat alive will roll just like drives in circles in the lake instead of just going from point A to point B.
Which is ironic given that there's that sequence where she's driving her van and she's like, "Oh, I'll protect you." The van can take hits, but the boat can't.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of damage too, it is very annoying. I barely beat this fight because it just goes on, and I was missing torpedoes. I was trying, but I was missing a lot of torpedoes.
If you don't have enough range and you don't do enough damage per shot, this whole sequence is just infuriating. Yeah,
that was the problem I was having. I kept getting hit, and I kept having issues, and it was very frustrating.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is one where I think I stopped selling any Buster part that I got because I never knew when I was going to need like 3 Buster parts all for range moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, I did the Tim Turry thing.
Oh, you sold all your stuff?
Not all of it, but I sold everything I had equipped.
Oh, God.
Because I forgot that it doesn't partition off the things you have equipped to make them not sellable. It's all just there when you want to sell stuff.
I think I would have done that. I remember going and looking at stuff to sell, and in the sell list was a Buster part that I had just picked up like 5 minutes ago.
Right. And
so then I was going back and looking, and I was like, well, okay, wait a minute. And so then, grab a piece of notepaper and like jot down what I have equipped. And so I didn't sell them. But had that not happened, had I not recognized that Buster part that I just got, I probably would have sold everything too.
I just saw the high price point they were offering me, and I was like, sold.
Well, when he did it, he thought he was buying stuff, right?
No, he was selling to get better armor.
Okay.
I didn't sell anything.
I did. I regretted it too.
Like I said, I stopped because I never knew what combination of Buster parts I was going to need.
That's a good way to do it, though.
But going back to that lake thing for a minute, that lake dungeon is also the trickiest, I want to say.
The lake dungeon, that's the one with the gators?
Yeah, the gators are annoying.
Oh my...
I tried to fight them because I was trying to kill everything in this game when it would come up just because that's how I play.
Right.
And those gators just, when I saw them and I started to fight them, I'm like, these things are, and all of them just started coming out of the water after that. I just ran for my life and never fought them again.
Because then you got the invisible reaver bots.
I don't remember those.
Yeah.
It's like in that big section where there's a bunch of platforms. Like you can just hop on stuff or just like kind of go around and just keep going. It's like a giant like pit.
Oh, yeah, the scyther looking things. I know what you're talking about.
It's after the crab Reaver bots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those things are also just like you can just kind of figure out where they are and hope they don't hit you.
and then circle straight.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember them. Very
Yeah.
vaguely for some reason.
Does everyone have a favorite special weapon?
The vacuum arm.
The vacuum arm was really good.
Oh, I forgot to get that this time. Oh man.
I only got it because Mike told me, because he's the one that told me how to get a lot of money in this game, and he's like, well, use the vacuum arm. I'm like, I don't have it.
Where is
That's
the
fine.
vacuum?
There's 3 parts. There's one in Apple Market, one in downtown, one uptown, and then you have Roll Make It.
Mm.
And it costs like 10,000 to fully upgrade. It has infinite energy, and you can basically, if there's any in the room, you can vacuum it up.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I always wound up using the machine gun arm just because of how rapid it fired and you could stun lock enemies.
I did the homing missile a lot.
Yeah, the active buster.
That was good for stuff like Bruno.
Yeah.
I really like the active buster too. I was using the power buster before, which I also liked. That was useful.
The worst one is the splash mine one.
And the one they start you with.
Yeah.
I could not get that thing to work for the life of me.
And
It's good once, maybe.
Yeah, for Morrow Wolf, that's about it.
Mara Wolf, I guess, are the 3 tanks.
I couldn't get to work for the 3 tanks at all. I tried and I tried and I tried and it just would not work for me.
I really wanted to like the blade arm, but with how close you had to get to an enemy, and this game's collision system can be a little not forgiving from time to time, it never really pays off.
Especially with those alligators, they can stun lock you to death in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they scared me. But like also like there's 2 times in this game where they make you have to protect something, and I really did not like protecting something. That was not my thing. It's hard. Like it's hard to protect stuff in this game. I felt like too. Did you guys
You
have
gotta be
a
really tricked out to do it.
Did you guys have a hard time protecting the sub at all? Like, cause mine, I was 1 hit away from death when I killed the boss.
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
guess
knew,
this is-
like, with the upgrade.
I'm just gonna assume I sucked. 'Cause I was missing everything. Okay. Is it the lake boss in the dungeon that has the giant reaver bot that looks like a bunch of donuts put together?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. He was an asshole. I'm just gonna put that out there. I almost got massacred by him. Like that's the one I was using save states because that's how I play. But I had to constantly use the save state and then like learn the trick to how to do it because I kept getting smacked. Like because you can only get a few shots off because of the way that he was. When I would lock on, it wouldn't hit him unless he was just in the right spot. I don't know if I was doing it right now.
And he would dive at you and slide across the entire room, and he had a whole area of effect attack that you would have to jump over and dodge. He really keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
I mean, it teases you. Like, you go in there and you see the giant, like, donut piles or, like, little kid's toy looking like thingy. And, like, you know it's going to be a boss fight when you come back in that room after you grab the big crystal. Like, you know. If anyone thought it wasn't be, well, you didn't play enough video games in your life. He annoyed me a lot. I think that might have been my least favorite boss fight in the game. That wasn't protecting things. And then then this is where you get the big enough energy crystal, where the hell they're called, to power up the Flutter, which has been damaged this whole game. Then you can finally fly around, which I think you can use it really just to get to that one dungeon that you couldn't get to earlier where they fly you to it, right? The one that he was digging for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because the support car can just travel you around the island wherever you want.
I didn't find that out till way later in the game. I ran everywhere. Yeah. Now you're supposed to play this game. You shouldn't be running around everywhere.
At least you got more playtime out of it that way.
I didn't want more playtime out of it, but yeah, I did. I wasn't interested in that, but it was cool that it was there. I mean, the car is really cool. I like the fact that they do have a fast travel system in this game. But I also, is it just me or can you lose the car depending on where you have it sent to you last if you don't keep using it?
I mean, you just call it with the walkie-talkie.
So you don't just run around back to where the Flutter is so you can use the car? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just call her, the screen fades to black, and when it comes back, there she is.
I never did that.
The game thinks of everything.
Unfortunately, I did not while playing this game. Why the game does. I played this game like wrong at times because I kept forgetting. I must have not been paying attention when they tell you about that.
If you beat it, that's what's important.
That's right.
I did. I cheated twice, but I finally beat it. Well, besides safe states, I literally just cheated too with cheat codes at 2 points in this game because I was like, screw this shit. And then after you get I don't remember that air dungeon that much. I remember it being kind of cool, but I can't remember much about it. Like I don't remember what the boss was or anything.
Oh,
is there a boss inside there, or is it afterwards?
There's a boss.
Oh, it's the three Cerberus thing. Like, the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, that was kind of cool. I like the three Cerberus dogs. Right, I was using the grenades, the grand grenades I think you just got recently because they are able to help you. You need them to blow up one single like panel in the ceiling to jump up or something stupid.
Yeah,
that was okay.
You can use
I had no
weapons,
problem
I think, to attack that too.
I enjoy fighting the three dogs a lot. Like I didn't like what comes right after this part, but I like the dogs.
It was it's a really fun boss fight, and it's a lot less just like circle and strafing and more having to keep track of multiple moving things and really plan where you're going to go and when you're going to attack.
It's also a good dungeon too. It was a really I vaguely remember liking it. I really enjoyed the dungeons in this game. I enjoyed the look, how claustrophobic it makes you feel, how like you feel like you really are digging in a ruins and you're in some lost world. For me, for some reason, I really got that feeling, that vibe, especially later on. How they're all almost all of them are connected too.
Yeah,
and the what really makes the dungeons not that bad is the fact that this game has a really great map for the time.
Yeah,
like the vibe of just going in those dungeons and just like grinding with no music, and then it's just like kind of rainy out. That's just like a whole vibe. That's an aesthetic. That is my aesthetic.
It did raise attention though when you're running around those dungeons because you can get your ass beat real fast too if you're stupid. I found out a few times where I would just start screwing around and I get messed up by combos. It's very interesting though. I agree, a very good vibe that it gives you. I forgot to have no music when you're in there. Really, just have the sound of you shooting all the time.
There's like slight ambience, but like I really like that's my favorite part of the game is just going down there and just losing time
and
exploring.
Because they all are connected, correct? If I was saying I wasn't
except the tutorial one.
Okay, because you get the drill arm later. I think it's in the final dungeon. You get the drill arm that lets you blow up walls to connect everything.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that point, that's like the best part of just like going everywhere and just seeing how it all works together.
How this is Dark Souls before Dark Souls?
Like I said, it's modern game design.
It is.
I unfortunately didn't. I got the drill arm, but I didn't use it because by the time I got it, I was ready to be done with the game. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go beat it. I'm not gonna stick around and bother with anything else.
I think
it was there.
I think I probably only interconnected all the dungeons once just to do it, just to see how they all interconnected. But by that point in time, I was more worried about, in like subsequent playthroughs, I would be more worried about like grinding and upgrading stuff.
I mean, that is the way to grind. Is just make sure every nook and cranny has been taken care of at that point.
Yeah.
Because when you blow up the walls, do they stay gone once you do it?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. All right. I think what else? Oh, and then you get to, because right after you get the crystal, this last one, that you get the flutter powered up. This part I had to cheat on. So you get on the flutter and you get into a huge air battle where I must have been doing this fight wrong because I took a huge amount of damage on my ship in this first part when the three little guys are like little jet guys are coming out and you gotta blow them up. I took a lot of damage.
You're not using the active buster?
I was not yet. No.
They go down like 10 seconds.
Okay, no, I wasn't using the active buster yet. I was still using the powered buster, I think, at this point. I had the grand grenade equipped like an idiot because I forgot to switch them out.
Yeah, you gotta be prescient about that stuff.
The grand grenade is pretty useless, by the way, in that fight.
That's one of the issues that this game doesn't, and we can circle back on it towards the end, but just like no warning that you're about to enter a huge cutscene boss fight, like, hey, Mega Man, you might want to rethink your, loadout or something like that.
I mean,
well, in that one you can't.
Wait, you can when you get in the ship, you can't you? Or is it right into the boss fight?
Maybe you can go back to your car.
You don't go back to the car because it's immediately into the fight. I just don't remember
if you do it before you get the refractor at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then I did not do it. Then okay, that's why I was irritated. I went right into it.
Yeah, it does not give you a shot. I don't think.
Yeah, because I was not happy when this showed up. I was like, "What? What is this?"
They have data waiting for you outside of the dungeon, but that's it.
Okay, so I would have healed through data, but I wasn't prepared for what else was coming. And I
think that drew me to the machine gun arm a lot because it was just sort of like an all-purpose weapon.
I would have liked that anything better. Like my powered buster, anything would have been better than the frickin' grand grenade I still had equipped.
The slingshot.
Oh, because you can't hit them with you can only hit the turrets with the grand grenade on the second part of this fight. Oh yeah, this fight is 3-part, just to make it more fun, where you're stuck protecting the frickin' ship during these whole 3-part. Where
somehow, despite how much that ship gets hit, it doesn't go down again. Like it doesn't matter at that point. The ship is fine. It only mattered that one time when the ship went down.
I had to completely cheat on this part where I had to actually look up cheat codes and download them and put them on so so that they couldn't kill me or the Flutter, because the Flutter would die by the third part of this fight. Because you fight the first part, you fight 3 jets, and you fight this giant like blimp-like thing, which you have to shoot different parts of.
With Gesellschaft.
Yep.
Very, very cool. I really like the green blimp.
I really like a lot. All of the enemy designs are really cool in this game. Like when it comes to the vehicles,
the art design in general is just amazing, especially for the time.
It's fun. Like the fact you have to shoot the wings, you have to shoot the turrets, and then it just keeps kind of moving you along until you get to the end part of it, where this is what broke me. I was like, I did it, and all of a sudden Tron comes out in a freaking like hawk-looking jet, and I'm like, what? A third fight? What? And the guy's like, oh, just use your active buster, you'll be fine. I'm like, I don't have an active buster equipped. I don't have anything equipped. I have this stupid grand grenades, which doesn't do anything.
No, it's one of those fights where, you think it's over, it's not over. You think it's over, it's not over.
It went too long for me, and that was my problem with this part, is that it should have been like the first 2 fights, give me a break, let me talk to Roll, let me talk to Data, then throw me in with the last fight. Like, it just wasn't like, even with the sub part, once you finish beating all the little monsters, the little subs and stuff with torpedoes, you can retreat, heal, then go back and fight the big purple boss. You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah.
Right.
This, you don't get that option, because I would have done it.
Well, it is pretty late game.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that if you talk to Data like I did, and I was using save state, but isn't Data, because Data's after you fight the dogs, right? So then you have no choice, you can't switch out your weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you could probably get completely screwed in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
I think there's a way around not completely screwing yourself out of it. Or you just kind of just like figure out a way to just not lose after a while.
Yeah, you just figure out something, whatever works for you. But we were tougher as gamers back in the 90s.
Yeah. I'm kind of a wuss now when it comes to gaming.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I'm right there with you.
That's still like a good challenge.
Any thoughts on it, Mike?
If it's done well, I don't mind a challenge like this game. That's fine. But I've played it a whole bunch of times, so I'm used to it.
Or beating Darkwing Duck without rewind?
Yeah, that too.
You like challenge way more than I do. I don't like challenge.
How about when I beat Shadow of the Colossus and I had no idea that you could upgrade your grip strength?
It's impressive.
Yeah, well, you can imagine how upset I was when I found out about that.
That's that was your own challenge. Like when you put limiters on transistor and have no idea that you're doing it. Making your own challenge.
That was my own achievement before achievements.
Hey, but retro games have achievements now. With God, what the hell was it that gives retro games achievements?
Is it the Mister?
Retroachievements.org.
Okay.
But you can like upload them to like a device, I think. Can't you?
That I don't know.
Okay, I just remember we talked about it before. Maybe I can't remember if we talked about it on air or not. I know we talked about it. All right, enough of that. So after you defeat the blimp and you destroy the Hawk, I think this is when you think you think they're all dead or something too, if I remember.
Yeah, they really go for it too.
Yeah.
And you end up in the final part of the town where you end up unlocking like a new set of ruins, I want to say, which is and then you go to Old City, which is the first time you've ever been in Old City, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, you can go there beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't go there because there was no point. The guy didn't tell me to.
But yeah, you can go to the Old City and the main gate's there.
Okay. Yeah, there was the main gate. That's what's locked up until you it's there the entire time, or is it only there if you hit a certain switch?
It's there if you see it.
Okay. I hit the switch and I saw it open up, so I didn't know if it had always been there or not because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't explore. Like I know that you can explore a lot in this game if you want to because it's kind of open world, but I didn't want to explore anything.
I forgot where the main gate was this time, so I just had the car take me there when it was time. And it's like I didn't even see it in this game, and it just knew where to take me. I was like, that's cool. I enjoy that.
Oh yeah, because even if you haven't gone there, once you unlock it, she just takes you. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Because like usually fast travel systems, you have to be there at least once.
Right.
Not
here.
Okay, that was cool. And I enjoyed the underground part in this. This is where I think is there another boss down here? I can't remember. You just gotta hit switches.
Well, you end up the boss ends up being Bruno when you go through and make your way through.
Yeah,
Bruno was cool.
Yeah, that was a really fun boss.
So after you end up getting you're down here, you come up, and I think you have to go in this right warehouse, and you find this giant mech just sitting there. And then when you end up finding like the Tron monster eating pizza or something, they're acting all stupid, like, "Oh, hey, don't forget, if you don't come hurry, you won't get this last piece of pizza."
Well, and that's when Mega Man gets all excited and runs up and hugs Tron and like, "Oh, you're alive!" And she's just bewildered that this person that she's been trying to kill is happy to see her.
Yeah.
Well, she also likes the feel of his touch because she's into him.
Well, yeah, that too. His cold metal touch.
And I guess this guy's name is Theodore Bruno. Is the full name of this robot.
Yeah.
That's great.
Does it matter if it destroys a bunch of Old Town or not?
No.
Nope.
Okay. I actually I want to say I did use the Active Buster for this fight, because earlier me and Mike were talking. He's like, that's the one to use, and it really worked well. Like it massacred him fast. And I also had like a clip for it, so I could reuse it. And I just took it, but it was cool. It was really cool to see him stomping around and blowing up things. Try to hide behind something, he just blows it up.
Yeah, this is the boss fight where you just use buildings as like shields.
Yeah.
The only thing that stays up is the little things that pop up when you come out of the ground. The gates. So those are invincible. You can just use those if you really need to.
That's what I hid behind with the gate.
Yeah.
Very useful.
No, that was a really fun boss fight.
I really liked it. It was one of my favorite boss fights so far in this game. I mean, it went down really fast, which was cool, but it was really unique, I thought. Or maybe not that unique, it's very cool, I should say. And this is like the last time you fight the Trons. Like, I think this is when you kind of wipe them out, or they get arrested, or they leave. I can't remember exactly what happened.
They're like, "Oh, we're gonna give up. We'll leave. Invested us." And then after he leaves, Teasel's like, "Actually, we're just gonna go steal the treasure when he has it."
Oh yeah, because I completely forgot how the end of this game goes. I beat this a week ago, so I don't remember as well. Okay. And then I think the next part is you finally have this is when you have to go down 3 different gates. I think one in Uptown, Old City, and I don't remember where the last one was. Downtown. Okay. And then you enter these weird little like secluded areas where you have to just kill every enemy in there to unlock a door to get a key.
Really enough, the main gate and these sections have music in like the gameplay area.
Okay.
The main gate has that one track that goes as you're like going down the spiral, and then this has like the old city or the old world music thing. And like as like a end game bonus thing, that is really cool because the tracks are kind of cool. Oh,
I do have a question for you guys, Ezra, because you reminded me of something. Did anyone have a favorite enemy in this game, or a favorite Reaver bot, I should say? I have one for sure. I really like the robots that you fight around this part that have like the helmets and the little shields, and they block your shot. I really, really like them for some reason.
The Sniper Joes.
I didn't think about that, but yeah.
I'd probably have to go with the ones we talked about earlier. They're invisible and they pop out of nowhere and like try to lance you with their arms.
Okay, they were cool. Annoying, but cool.
My favorite's the little ones that they take one shot and they give you a giant piece of Zenny.
The little mouse bot. That's what I call them, or mouse.
Yeah, because that's a great way to farm.
What you might.
So are the hives. They give you a bunch of money.
Well, the hives are cool too.
That's how I farmed thanks to him. He told me to go there, and you just keep going in and out. And yeah, it was with the vacuum arm, you get a lot of money fast. Takes a while though, because you can't respawn them quick. I was hoping there was maybe a way to respawn faster than going up the elevator and coming back in, but there's not. It wasn't that. It would have been nice if it was faster reload, but again, this is 1998, so.
And in general, this game had pretty good load times for the time.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I played a lot worse from this era. The game does have jank. It can be janky, but as long as you understand the janky, like it plays fine. Like the main thing, like for us, it sounds like a bunch of us just reconfigure our controls, so we were just using the right analog stick to look around, and it was fine. L1R1 I could see being a little weird if I was playing this without a modded controller.
Like if this is on a new system with HD graphics, it would not be much of an issue.
No,
there's only a few things you'd have to do for quality of life, and it'd be just people would have no problem with it.
Like even just at the time, we talked about load times. The game also had like really good draw distance compared to a lot of PlayStation 1 games.
64 version had a little bit less, but yes.
Yeah.
That's because 64 is not as good.
The 64 differences are like minimal. They're just mostly annoying. Like in the PlayStation version, you can go to the music store and listen to some CDs, and you can't do that in this version.
Oh, that's cool.
How did you strafe with the 64 controller?
So you can set it to where it's either ZR or L and R.
Okay.
Huh.
And then just use the analog or the D-pad, either one, to just Because otherwise it's like it has the tank controls of like right and left or turn and then up and down or do they do what they do?
Right.
Because that's like a tank's control system that does not make any sense.
You ever play Fear Effect?
No, but I want to.
No, you know, but that's another game where tank controls don't make a lot of sense either.
Yeah.
Episode 40 something. I can't remember when we covered that bullshit game.
Well,
Yeah, if you want to play Fear Effect, do it the way Bill Tucker did. Just watch a YouTube video. That's the right way to play that game.
I find that's the right way to play a lot of awful games, is to not play them and watch someone else play them.
Especially Fear Effect, because Fear Effect has really cool cutscenes, but it is not a good game. Okay.
And that's the problem with Sedna had a couple of years ago, I believe. It just was not a good game.
What do you mean? It always shows up my wish list is $2 on sale all the time. That's a good sign of a great game, right?
Yeah,
I say almost every week
too. I have it on my Switch. I've not played it yet.
I don't want to buy it because I know it's bad, but I keep seeing it for $2. One day I'm just going to buy it, and I won't play it. But yeah, it's Fear Effect. It's not a good series. So as we were saying before I sidetracked us, when you're down there, I really like the vibe too of down here in these final parts. You get to just kill the monsters. And they're also different robots you hadn't fought before either. I got a kick out of this part. Plus, I knew it was near the end of the game, so I was also excited. So it was really cool. I mean, I felt that when you get the keys. I wanted some kind of like big door where you see him like with a big lock on it, and I didn't get that when you go to is it not Old City, Main Gate, and you go where the keys are, you just see a normal door. He just presses, oh, use this key, and I was disappointed because I wanted something special to happen. Yeah. I didn't want a video gamey thing where there's a locked door and you have the key, okay, it opens. I wanted something cool, but I don't know why. This is what I wanted, but I was fine with it. So I think that brings us to the final part of the game then. I think that's the only thing we have left to say before side quests we still got to talk about.
Mega Man Juno.
All right. Yeah. So Mega Man Juno is the same. He's the same thing as Volnut, right? Like they're both like from that same time or something.
This is like the huge spoiler part, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah, if you care about
that, I'm not even concerned.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So yeah, Mega Man and Mega Man Juno, they're keepers of the island. And Juno is the person who's in control, and Volnut's basically Goku, where he forgot everything.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing? You should be on my side and want to destroy everybody because the carbons are too populous.
Is that what it was then?
Yeah, she wants to go like full Age of Ultron and just kill everyone off.
Okay. So she wants to drop the planet on them?
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, and it was a she?
I think it's a he.
Oh. Okay,
that
really
doesn't matter a lot, but
no, I was just curious because I was like, "Oh, did I missed something?" That was off, which I wouldn't be surprised. I did not like this part a whole lot. I did not like this fight. I mean, it's cool in story wise how Juno traps Mega Man and goes to activate the super weapon, and it isn't until the Trons come down there and end up saving you.
You know what's clever about that sequence where they try to figure out how to save him, and they just kick the things down that electrocute him.
Yeah.
In the first dungeon, one of the first things you do is you kick down a barrier, and it never comes back up again until this point.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, I don't recall
like
that
the
either.
tutorial dungeon. It's like, you just gotta kick it down, Mega Man.
I have no memory of this.
You never use that mechanic again until this point?
Like, where you have to kick down a barrier like that? I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't really kick a lot of things either.
Not in the dungeons, especially.
You can kick a can.
Because you usually have your super weapon by that point, so you don't have a chance to really kick anything.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Does kicking even do anything?
It kicks dogs.
That's not in the American version, though.
Well, you can kick the feral dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Old Town.
Huh. Do they hurt you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I saw one, he looked at me weird, and I ran in the door and left.
Oh, yeah, they'll come after you. They'll run you down.
Yep.
Okay. Wow, I'm surprised they had that in this game.
I mean, they also have, you can get hit by the cars.
Yeah, I did that. Not on purpose.
No, it is sad because when you kick the feral dogs, they just make a yelp, and then they get down in like oh, I've been a bad boy pose.
Okay.
You feel immediately guilty every time you kick one of the feral dogs.
It is the worst feeling.
I know in the Japanese version you could kick the regular dog, you could also shoot the birds, but they took that out of this version.
Again, the amount of things they have in this game is really wild.
And there's a lot to this game. And so I do want to talk about the Juno fight. The Juno fight, I I had to turn on cheats in midway through this fight because of course, being a Mega Man game, he has 2 forms. I beat his first form and I got pretty well beat up. I'm like, okay, I got it. And then he goes to the second form, which I forgot he had second form. I've seen this game beaten before, and I'm like, I don't care. And I was just, and I was using save and he still fucked me up pretty good. And I'm like, screw this. I'm turning on infinite health and I'm just taking him out real fast. And that's what I
really like Juno's design. I loved like the detached arms that sort of floated near him, and then would like come off and like streak across the the whole arena shooting a laser at you.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool. It's a very intense fight. And he's also very, very fast. Like I think he's too fast for your controls.
And he just spams attacks. There's like so little downtime.
Like he is most similar to that donut robot or Reaverbot.
Yeah. Oh, did anyone else have a problem with the skates working? I couldn't get them to work.
Did you equip them?
I did equip.
Like during boss fights?
No, at all. Like I heard the guide said press down circle to use them, and he just would walk.
You have to be standing still and holding circle until he goes through the animation. Otherwise, you do just walk.
Okay. At least now I know why I never worked. I never stood still.
Yeah.
It's
It's cool.
Yeah, and I never bothered standing still at all. I always just walk. And I was wondering why it wouldn't work. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, that makes sense now. Thank you.
No, it would make sense if you could activate him while walking, but no, they wanted to show off the funny little animation that he goes through.
In my mind, I had a thing where it's like, oh, I can skate and shoot. Of course, I could not.
Yeah.
Which game?
You can walk and shoot in this game. You can strafe.
Yeah, I did that a lot, but you can't. Skating would have been better.
In a pre-Resident Evil 2 world, they did do moving and shooting.
Well, Resident Evil 2 doesn't do it out of tension.
I know. It's just worth pointing out that the design was there.
Yeah. And Keiji Inafune was also the same guy that made Resident Evil 2.
Having moved and shot in real life, I think every game should have it. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Most games do now.
Yeah. No, I that's a conversation for a whole different episode.
Hey, this has got to be one of the early games that did it, though, which I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Moving and shooting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't... Well, I mean, Half-Life did come out before this game.
No.
That's the first shooter, though.
It did not?
No, this is 97.
Oh, yeah. Half-Life, November of 98. Okay.
I mean, this was 98 in North America. Just 97 in Japan, but it's still... It's... I mean, a first-person shooters did it, yeah, but I feel like a third-person shooter you didn't have... Well, maybe you didn't have a lot. I don't know. This is more history than I can pull out of my head at the moment. But
it wasn't 98. Interesting.
The Juno fight it just was, like you were saying, it was just too much for me, so I just cheated and finished it. But isn't there isn't there like a satellite, or what was it that was going to kill the island? I don't remember what weapon pops out that people are all scared of.
There's something that like comes out of the ground, right?
It's like the satellite from Akira. If anyone's seen that, where they just launch a satellite from space and it just comes down and is like, it's going to annihilate the whole island.
Yeah, I mean that's his grand plan, is kill everybody. Was it just the island he was going to kill then?
You wanted to kill the Carbons, the people.
Yeah.
On the whole world, or just the island?
The island.
Okay. That seems kind of odd.
Which really does bring up questions regarding this version of Mega Man. Is he a robot or a boy? Because, spoilers for the second one, but you see him without his armor on. So is he a Carbon or is he a robot?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the answer is yes.
Yeah, there probably isn't a better answer, but... I mean, I think
Inafune knows.
Hey, we can ask him. I'll send him a tweet, see what happens.
I mean, maybe MegaMan Legends 3 would have covered that. Who knows?
Probably.
Another thing I thought that was very interesting was after you beat the boss, you can go run around the town and talk to everybody and see how they're doing before you leave.
Oh yeah, that's not that. You can still do side quests and.
Oh yeah, if you can.
Within reason, you can't go everywhere.
No.
Oh, you can't. Oh, you can't do everything again.
You can't go beyond downtown, I believe.
Okay. I just got on the ship and got the credits.
Does that trigger the ending?
Oh, if you go beyond downtown, it rolls just like, Mega Man, we gotta go.
Oh, okay.
Well, I just realized now, because I'm watching a video, there's another cutscene at the end of the credits where the Tron's got the mother lode crystal.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't see that because I turned off the game.
And like, Tron managed to put all our scraps together and make another boat. And it's slowly sinking, but they'll make it to the next island. Believe you them.
They're in number 2, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to play 2 now.
2 is better in almost every single way.
Hey, 2 has a trivia quiz. They have a bunch of trivia questions to get like a sword or something, if I remember correctly. Like 100 questions.
I need to get. I owned Tron Bonnet.
Oh boy, that's a pretty penny to invest in again.
I had to in Tronbon at some point. I sold them because I needed the money, but I want to get them again. But they are expensive.
They are really expensive.
You can buy them. You might want to hurry on that one, though.
I'm not going to hold my breath for that.
Yeah, because at the time of this recording is late March. We had heard that there's a good chance the PSP, PS Vita, and PS3 store are going down at some point. So that's why we're making that comment.
That's also probably worth a whole episode of digital rights and what have you.
It's funny that like in North America that we only got the PS1 classic version in North America for Legends. I think Legends 2 and Tronbon.
No, we did get them.
No, but we're the only ones who got them.
Oh, it didn't come out other places?
Not PSN.
Okay, that's probably because of the right issue. Because I know part of the problem why they didn't bring this game out right away. There's rights issues with this game because it was a good idea that somebody thought at that time to put. Oh God, what do they have? There's a vending machine that has a real life like pop soda drink in Japan, and there's also a gym that used the logo for the gym in this game too. And that was a big reason why they couldn't do it at first.
I didn't know that.
I think there's also something about one of the voice actors being in prison or something.
Huh. Okay.
I think the voice actor for Teasel did some bad stuff.
Yeah.
The Japanese voice actor?
The American voice actor.
Now you have me curious to Google. No, I got it from Did You Know? I was watching one of their videos about this game. They mentioned that's one reason why it never got re-released for a long time.
I remember those were the two big theories like back in the day when they were not on the store.
Well, licensing is such a... I think games have gotten better about it now. They don't put stupid little ads in like that because they're going to pay for it. You can't re-release it. But at this time, nobody was thinking about re-releasing something.
I mean, yeah, but I will say I'm a huge sucker for like signs in games, and this is one of the few of that era that has good signs. Like if you watch like Dreamcast games like Ill Bleed or Blue Stinger, like those signs are amazing. They have so much detail and design, and they're easily readable.
Hey, Mike, we got another top 10 there. Top 10 signs in gaming.
Okay.
Well, like you can see like there's that little sign near the Flutter when you crash land that's like to town.
Yeah.
And it's like handwritten and everything. It looks kind of crappy.
Yes.
It's stuff like that I just really enjoy. Because that means someone took their time and like made sure you could read that. Unlike, like a Zelda game where it's just random squares and whatnot.
Oh, does the morality meter do anything though if you're all black?
No.
Yeah, it's just cosmetic.
I think in 2 there's like a black market that if your karma's low enough, you can buy from it.
Okay. It looks cool. I just watched a video of Black Mega Man. I'm like, well, that is cool in the black suit.
The effect is really weird. Like, it doesn't look normal. Like, it looks like they fussed with something to make it work easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little odd, but it's cool that it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never would have saw it. So, I think the only last thing we still didn't mention is we haven't talked about, there's a bunch of side quests in this game. I didn't do any of them, but I know that Mike, you had mentioned before there's a really powerful weapon you get.
Yeah, the shining laser, you have to completely restore the museum and do all the TV show mini games to get the parts that Roll needs to make the shining laser, which is overpowered once you max it out.
Okay. I was curious to do it, but I didn't care enough. But it's cool that it's there.
And we touched on the robbery where you can keep the 200,000 zenny.
That's also cool that that's there. And I think there's some other ones too, but there's something about, I had a guide pulled up. It's something about helping a pregnant lady or something.
Yeah, I actually saw that now, and I don't recall that one.
I have not. I think you talked to her at the end. You do talk to her at the end for sure. Because I remember talking to her.
Whatever that is.
I just remember being like, oh, there's a pregnant lady in the game. Interesting.
I don't know. I just had no interest in doing any of the side quests. I just didn't care, especially when I was probably worried I had to fix up a lot of things in my town, which would cost me money I didn't have. So I'm like, I don't care.
I really liked helping the kids build their hideout. That was one I always do.
Oh, I forgot about that one too. Like I said, I have my route through this game, and I just kind of did it.
I mean, there were some I was very close to, but I just didn't do. So
I had the super replay on sometimes in the background, so I did a couple things from that, like the artist you need talent thing. But
I have never seen that super replay, but I know that when I asked for questions, which I'm about to read shortly, a lot of people were bringing that up.
That super replay irks me, but I don't think they were playing the game the way it was meant to be played.
No, but it's a fun watch.
Oh, it's a really fun watch, and it's hysterical at certain points. But
Yeah, episode 3 and 6 are the best.
Yes.
I
The
have
dawn
no
of the
idea.
dance stamp.
Yeah.
The dance sim introduction, classic.
I miss Dan being on Game Informer.
He's a great follow on Twitch.
That's good for him, though. I mean, he has a good personality for that.
I do miss that the band is broken up to a significant degree.
Yeah, I remember watching replay at first, but it's been a very long time. I fell off it. Oh, all right. Any questions or anything you want to say before we go to questions, comments, or memories?
I do have one thing. I want to pause it. I think this game is one of the best of the generation of the PS1. Like, going back to it, it holds up the best.
Yes.
Yep.
It is up there with Ocarina of Time. It's up there with Metal Gear Solid.
Well, especially on the PlayStation, there's so many games that are just like almost downright unplayable now. But Mega Man Legends, you can pick up and within 10 minutes, nothing's really a problem anymore.
Yeah, it is one of the rare games that somehow made it,
and still somehow looks good.
I would also argue that the original voice actor for Mega Man is the better one.
They changed voice actors of the series?
In Legends 2, it's like I think it's a girl playing Mega Man because the original voice actor was a 12-year-old boy, so he got older.
Oh, okay. Oh, and IGN does not agree with you. Mega Man Legends does not show up in their top 25.
Well, they're wrong.
Yeah, they really are.
It's IGN, so I agree with you, but
I think they have I was reading a list of like Mega Man Legends was like one of the worst 3D adaptations of a series.
it's a good
It's
game.
like, no, it's not. It's just not.
That's the same sort of argument that people make who never played Wind Waker. They just saw that it was cel shaded and decided they were going to hate it.
Oh, Mega Man Legends 2 is on here, just not the first one. Number 21 for them is Mega Man Legends 2.
Well, I mean, Mega Man Legends 2 does look better.
It is probably the better game. I've not played it, but I think for as basic as this one is, and is as directed as it is, I think that's the important thing too. Is that it is open world, but it's also very directed, and so you don't get a lot of opportunity to be really lost and like get frustrated with it.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of tell you where to go and what to do. I mean, it's a little, you have a map, so.
Like Ocarina of Time is good as it still is. It has some bloat now, you can tell, and some things that's kind of like hard to parse and get through.
Yeah, well, and it also has a lot of sort of inflated playtime by like, oh, I have to run through Hyrule Field again.
Right.
Oh, I have to become, young again.
Where this has the fast travel system, it has everything you need to utilize your time effectively.
This will be something to be on the internet. The fact that you guys were saying Mega Man Legends was a better game than Ocarina of Time. That should be the
Like
tagline for this episode.
historically, it is like in pure like nostalgia aside, pure like looking back, it kind of is.
I would agree.
Okay. I just played Ocarina of Time not that long ago for the show, but I still like that game better, but this is a good game. All right, I'm going to go on to questions, memories, or comments. I actually got a lot. I'm not going to read all of them because I don't want to, but I'm going to read at least some from every group that I got. And we're going to start with, like I normally do, I watched the entire Overload Super Replay group. And first question from guest on the show, Dominic C. Important question. Do you spell this version Mega Man or Mega Man?
With a space or without a space?
Yes.
I suppose so I don't do a space, but I do 2 capital M's.
See, that is the way it was originally done.
Uh-huh.
And his name is Mega Man.
Yeah.
The title has a space in it. I do it with a little hyphen for Mega Man.
No, I always did it without a space, but like no one agrees anymore. It is just spaced out.
I think the hyphen is the right way to do it. That's the way I always spell it whenever I write in anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you go to, type in Mega Man, it usually wants to correct you to, well, like the Wikipedia is Mega Space Man.
Yeah.
So is when you look up megaman.capcom.com, it's Mega Space Man, but I always did Mega Man with 2 capital M's and a space.
That's how they have it on here, too.
Yeah, I think normally it is with the space, but this version specifically was not.
Because they gave him a last name. In
Right.
Japan, his name's just Rock, so they're like, well, it's Mega Man here, so his first name's just Mega Man.
Right.
Okay. Or because he's Mega Man Volnut, too.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking those very important questions. All right, next one from David Lewis. I had this in the form of Mega Man 64. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I liked Mega Man and wanted more games with him in it, so I saw this and my uncle got it for me. I was kind of thrown off with being more an adventure game, and he didn't even have the helmet at first. But the more my friends and I played, the more I became a fan. I remember it after beating the game, I just fight the final boss for fun over and over. Not sure why, but it was satisfying. I'm not sure why either, sir.
Yeah, it's a really difficult boss fight, so I guess there's like a serotonin rush that you get every time you beat him.
I guess. I mean, I don't have that, unfortunately. I just cheat, but I can see that. That's just how I play games now. I just cheat when if the game lets me, I'm going to cheat. And from friend of the show, Manuel Rodriguez, my only memory of this game was renting it once as a kid and never getting past the initial area. I never gone back to it since, but I will be doing an episode of First Strike on it soon. Insert channel plug here, Mike. I did. I said what you said. Is that what you wanted, sir? It's Commander Lionheart on Twitch and YouTube for those that want to follow him. And he's been on the show a few times. And be on the show in a couple weeks. Actually, he's coming back on again. And from Danny Palacio, make sure you guys talk about when Tim Therese sold all his stuff in the Super Replay, which we did. Did you have to restart after you did that, or
no? He bought it back.
Oh, okay.
Well, he just went and did the whole on the way down to the final boss, and you get tons of money along that route.
Yeah.
Oh, was it later than he sold all his stuff then?
It was like endgame.
Oh, okay. All right, and this one from Bernard A. I love this game. It was one of my first tastes of what an open world could be. I spent countless hours just running around town, skating, messing up with vending machines, and talking to people. I still have the town theme stuck in my head to this day. Okay.
Apple Market theme is a bop.
Here's one that you guys will know better. I don't. You can maybe explain more for me. From Nick Ludeman, I rented the N64 version as a kid and probably didn't even get past the tank boss. Yeah, I had a hard time to do. I do remember exploring the world and doing random stuff like the bank robbery side quests. I have way better memories of watching the Super Replay and being there for the birth of the dance stamp, among many other great conversation and gameplay moments. What is the dance stamp anyway? From Game Informer Super Replay.
Whoa, now.
I fell off pretty. I never watched it. I never even finished the Overblood Super Replay.
You know, I don't even want to spoil it for you. I think you should just go back and watch those episodes.
I can give you a secret. It's not going to happen, but okay.
It's
like if I just yelled out Dominic stamp and then something just happened.
It was a way to make Ben Hansen really upset because it was a lot of editing. But Dan would just, is like the Dan Stamp seal of approval, and he yelled Dan Stamp, and graphic would come up on the screen, and it was just a picture of Dan with 4 thumbs up. But it evolved into can one person yell Dan? Can another person yell Stamp? And then it gets really weird with Dan's long hair on Tim Curry's face, and Can Stamp and Stan Camp, and it just
ways you can say it. Yeah,
it gets really out of control. It's actually, if people who haven't checked out Dan's Twitch, you can go to Dan's Twitch, and I think it's either for a donation or for bits, but you will get a Dan Stamp on the Twitch stream.
The amount of work Ben Hansen put into Super Replays back then is really undersung.
Mm-hmm.
He put a lot of work into all the little extras and music videos and Dan Stamps.
Because editing video is not easy, I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not.
No.
I edit audio all the time, and that's not too bad, but I can't imagine doing video yet.
Well, especially back then, it sounds like GI's setup was pretty basic when it came to capture and editing, and they weren't really doing a whole lot of video stuff.
And they were still using DAT tapes or something, or actual analog tapes for recording.
Oh, it wasn't even digital stuff?
No.
Not at first.
It was an actual tape that they'd have to swap out if they went longer than an hour.
Okay, that could be really tough then, the video edit, I'm assuming.
Because the part of the drama with the Super Mario Bros. 3 Super Replay was having to run out of time when they're in the last world and about to die.
Oh, that first Mario Party replay where everyone just wanted to get out of that room, and then Dan had to leave to go swap out tapes and come back for another half an hour of Mario Party.
Okay,
I enjoyed some of them. I just fell off for some reason.
I mean, a lot of it is easy to edit. You just got to make sure the audio and the video sync, and everything works.
Yeah, at some point I want a video on this show. I've thought about it, but it hasn't happened yet.
But the amount of extra stuff is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I won't be doing that when I eventually go video. It's more work than I'm ever going to put in this.
All right, you say that now.
Yeah, I've thought about it. The thought has crossed my mind many times. But all right, from the official Laser Time community, I got one from Philip Palumbo. Kick the can. Something as simple as a can in that little mall area really made me appreciate the game as a whole. I wouldn't experience a big open world-ish game until much later, but at the time, this felt like it was so few NPCs, the world felt lived in enough to encourage a fun look around. Side note, replaying this emulated and upscale looks amazing. Shell-shaded, don't crack. It's not wrong.
No, we've talked about it, but this game still just looks really good when a lot of other PlayStation 1 games from that era do not.
And from only other question I got from this group, from Luke Beatty, I wanted that game for so long when I was a kid. One time my mom took me to Toys R Us to get a game, but one that was on the cheaper side of things. I remember begging her for it Since the game is still like $50, she wouldn't get it. She suggested Mega Man 8, but a 2D game seemed like a much worse alternative to me at the time. I ended up getting Parappa the Rapper instead for like $10, which is a game I still love to this day. When I eventually did get the cheaper greatest hits version of Legends way later, I definitely like it, but it's one of those games where you can easily have no idea where to go next, at least if you're a kid. I end up giving up and have much fonder feelings of this game I got instead of it for the first time.
Imagine having the problem of like, do I want Mega Man 8 or Mega Man Legends?
How is Mega... Mike, you're a fan of Mega Man 8, right?
Yep.
I know nothing about that game.
Jump, jump, slide, slide.
Yep.
When we find those energy emissions, we'll find Dr. Wily.
Is that the one with the terrible voice acting?
Mm-hmm. At least on...
That's a good question,
Line.
Mega Man.
I really need to play more of the Mega Man series. I just have not. That's another one I've never gotten around to.
It's perfect for your series. I'm telling you.
It's also really, the games are really digestible. Like you can just sit down and do huge chunks of them in just like an hour.
Yeah, we've talked about doing more of the Mega Man games, like the NES one does minis, and then doing, I think, you want to do 7, 8 as a regular episode, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's our plan eventually.
The thing about Mega Man, looking back, is that there are a ton of games, but like as among like all the big franchises out there, it's probably one of the most diverse series you can come up with.
Hey, there's a racing game I really want to play.
There's Mega Man Soccer.
Yeah, there's Mega Man Soccer is deceptively a lot of fun.
Battle Network's really good.
I hate Mega Man Soccer. I bought it when I was a kid, and I was very upset.
I mean, imagine the idea of like Mega Man 64 came out here in 2001, and Battle Network came out in 2001. So if you were a Nintendo kid, you had a great 2001.
All right, and then I also did ask in a Mega Man group. I got a lot of comments. I'm not reading all of them, of course I can't, but God, I want to say thank you, Mega Man fans, for really, saying lots of things about this game. So I'll start with a couple. Chris Smith. PS1 is better in my opinion. I asked what people like 64 at PS1. It is a great game that takes a different view of Mega Man. He feels like he is much weaker because he uses more conventional weapons usually, but he has more mobility in the end, and there's a lot to love about this game. Okay, here's a good one. Miguel Torres. I have a funny story about it. I played this game many years ago when I was a child on my modded PS1. Recently, I found out the original game on a second-hand shop, and I didn't hesitate to get it. I played it in my never-modded PS2 Slim, but I was unable to save the game because this version of PS2 doesn't read bootleg PS1 memory cards. Oh, that's kind of funny. And then from Paco Hernandez, how'd you play it? I think, well, we all said earlier how we did play it, though. PS1 mostly, and I think 64 for one of us.
I will say there is a PC version that apparently came out after the 64 version that's apparently super trash.
Wow, I'm surprised it got released on PC.
2001 PC, so not anywhere digitally. It's just a disc, I'm sure.
I wonder if that has anything to do with... I can't imagine that the quality of like controllers that you could use on a PC in 2001 was all that great.
Yeah, I mean, if the 64 port was not handled super well, I can imagine just like dropping it on PC and just calling it good.
Yeah, they might not even care. Just get whatever they could out of it.
Right. Because like if
the game wasn't doing great for them.
Because Wikipedia has the game ranking scores, because PS1 is like a 73, and 64 is a 64%, and the PC version's at a 33%.
Oh, that's awful.
Damn, that is good. All right, from Zufu. Loved this game. Felt more of an RPG than a platform. Okay, that is true. All right, let's see. Oh, here's one from Joe DeMarco. One of my favorite Mega Man games and definitely needs a reboot. Of all Mega Man games I've ever played, this one has the most time spent into it by far. And my 30s and grew up with Mega Man 2 being the best, newest game. A lot of time in this game finding everything, upgrading the laser weapon, which I never did. Amazing concept of finding parts to custom build weapons. With the size of video games now, this game has so much potential for a remake. A full-blown Mega Man RPG. Well, there is Command Mission, which I've never played.
I wonder if we'll ever get a continuation of the Legends series.
We were supposed to.
I know. It was, yeah.
So was Legend 3 actually supposed to be made? Like, they were actually working on it?
Oh, they were like full on in development.
There was a huge thing where fans were contributing artwork and like voting on designs, and it was really opening up the process so the fans could see how it was going. There was supposed to be like a 3DS demo that was supposed to happen. It really would have made the 3DS, I think, even better had it come out, but then they just canceled it.
I wonder why they canceled it.
Well, that was when they canceled like 3 Mega Man projects at once, and then KG and they left Capcom. So
that probably has a lot to do with it then. That's too bad. Maybe, hopefully someday they'll go back to it. There's definitely a fan base for it.
I do wonder how much of it is there just sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Like what percentage of the game?
Yeah. I also like that. If you were a Capcom fan 10 years ago, you had a lot of reason to be angry at their decisions.
Yeah. They canceled Mega Man Universe around the same time too.
Yep. If you were an Ace Attorney fan, they stopped making Ace Attorney games on cartridges and didn't localize half of them and all this stuff. And that was back when Resident Evil Mercenaries was on 3DS, and it's like, this is just that multiplayer mode from one of the other games. Why is this a full game?
I think it was 4, right? Or was it 5? It doesn't matter.
There was a lot of backlash at that time.
I'm reading now. I guess Inafune even offered, after he left Capcom, offered with his own team to make Mega Man Legends 3 because he wanted to so badly, but Capcom just never gave in.
And then he made Mighty Number 9 and just destroyed his entire career.
Yeah.
Was that the last game he made?
Well, he was going to make the Solar Ash, which was the Legends version, but Mighty Number 9, and then that didn't happen because Mighty Number 9 tanks so hard.
I have Mighty Number 9.
I do too.
Looks like I heard nothing but bad things about it. All right, I have a few more to read from Leland Queen, one of my all-time favorite. The controls are super dated and weren't that great back then. I disagree. But the story, graphics, characters, enemies, etc., all these pieces create an unforgettable experience for my young mind. My mom used to allow my older brother and I an hour each in the PS1 a day. He was better at video games, so I would let him use my hours so we could get further in the story. I like that.
That has to be one of the best brotherly relationships I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they're both playing Mega Man Legends.
Like, listen, I'll sacrifice my time to you.
You got to play my game. And from Carlos Villarreal, my daughter and I play this game most nights lately. It has a great concept and storyline. The gameplay has me trying to figure out the enemy's fighting patterns, like in the 2D platform. It takes me back, and now I have a new fan in the making. All right.
I think this would be a really good game. Like, if you have a kid who's 5 or 6 and you sort of want to introduce them to this era of gaming, this would be a really good game to show them.
All right, and I'm going to read 2 more. From Theodore, I loved it, though I had the N64 version. And last one from Travis Whalen, in my top 10 list of favorite games of all time, PS1 version. All right. I'm glad a lot of people really like this game. A few people called it janky and complained about the controls, which, they're okay. They're not. I played worse. I played a lot worse. This wasn't that bad.
As long as you get past the fact that it's a different kind of Mega Man, I think it's fine. Like, it's great.
Yeah, it holds up fine.
Had it been like reskinned as like a whole new game with a different character that isn't Mega Man, I think it would be looked at completely different. But the fact that they took Mega Man and put him in a completely different environment than everyone was used to, is what made it so divisive. Like, looking back at the era it came out, I think the only other game you really have to compare it to is Tail Concerto, as far as like being third person action, really bright, colorful. Because that's the CyberConnect 2 game.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's another game that was from back then of like really bright and colorful, using the hardware to make something that was more stylistic versus like how a lot of those PS1 games look now. Oh, okay. Now I look it up. I see what. Yeah. I remember this game now.
What's it called?
Tail Concerto. With the weird floppy arms.
Did it not come to America?
It did.
It did.
Tail and Concerto.
Yeah, CyberConnect 2 is more famous now for like Asura's Wrath, but Tail Concerto was their first game.
Oh, I never heard of this before.
And a sequel on DS, or a spiritual successor, called Solo Robo, which I was not a fan of, but Tail Concerto is at least interesting.
Huh, you have my attention. I've never even heard of this before, but the cover looks odd, but okay. I see what you mean. This does look really... I might have to try this someday.
I'm looking at a video now, and I totally forgot about the wacky animations of your character.
I'm going to definitely have to check this out. All right, I think we should go to Shelf Stack Orba, and I'll go first. This is my first time ever playing this game, fully playing it, and the anxiety I had over it, and finally conquering that fear and conquering the stupid anxiety over boss fights, especially when I had save states abilities. But I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself being in this world. I was having fun. I didn't really want to stop playing. I thought about going for the laser, but there was no point, and I was running out of time because it was time to get on to the next game. So I just stopped because I could, but it's a really good game. It still held up to me. I didn't have a problem with it. It's a little janky, but it played fine for me when I updated the controller. So it's going on the shelf. I'm really glad that I finally got this knocked off my backlog, and it only took me 20 years. How about you, Mike?
It's going on the shelf, of course. It's still one I play probably once every couple of years. The way the graphics are, the way they went for a specific style instead of the hyper-realistic makes it age super well. It's funny you guys brought up Fear Effect earlier because they both did something similar. It's like they put textures over top of the face models or something to make the characters more expressive than like Resident Evil or something where it's just their face without moving mouth or anything. So
Fear Effect did not age well.
Yeah, it's fine. The gameplay is garbage, but the graphics are nice. But Yeah, it's fun to go through the dungeons and find items to make new weapons and whatnot. It's a dungeon crawler at heart.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I didn't think about that. Okay. How about you, Dominic?
I mean, for me, if I look back, this is probably when I rented it, the first Mega Man game I ever played. Realistically, the 64 version, and so I own both versions of the game happily. Like I was saying before, it is probably one of the best games of that generation that holds up. You know, it is absolutely on the shelf.
Okay. And Matt?
Yeah, I think you and I talked about this, but this is not only one of my favorite games ever, but it's one of my favorite series ever because just how much it impacted me when I first rented it. Because, I played this before I played Ocarina of Time and everything, and this game was just so addicting and so much fun, and such an introduction to me for like dungeon crawlers and RPG elements. This one definitely goes on the shelf.
All right, that's what I expected out of all four of us. Since the reason that Matt and Dominic are even here is because I lost the unfortunate guest that was going to be on this episode had to back out because of work, and then I was like, I need someone to talk about making. They're like, we love this game, so that's how they both ended up here.
Yeah, it's a better fit for me than 13. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, 13's a garbage game. Nobody
also cell shaded.
It looks cool, but when you have a game that's mostly a stealth game and you have boss fights that are tanks that just tank damage, yeah, it doesn't fall for a good game. I already talked about that for over an hour.
I haven't played it in 10 years, so I'm not going to argue with you.
Go check out that episode. It's good. And that brings us to the end. And Dominic, you want to give a shout out to your podcast?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. It's called Dissonant Waves. Just three of us did listen to different music albums every week. Check us out.
And I forgot I should introduce what we're talking about next week before we go to plugs. We are talking about Batman Arkham City next week. So we're finally going to tackle the second game in the Arkham series.
Quite a shift from MegaMan Legends to Arkham City.
Yeah, because when I put these together, it's not based on, if they fit together, it's just based on length of the game and what is going to be hard for us to play next or stuff like that.
And whoever's available to do what.
Yeah, kind of. That comes as a second part.
Mm-hmm.
I do the schedule. Sometimes it does rotate depending on what people's schedule. I will rotate stuff, but usually tend to be just the length of the game so we don't play a long game after a long game and get irritated.
Right.
That makes sense.
So, and Matt, do you want to give a shot? You said you had a Twitch channel?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of rebooting it because I got hooked up with an artist from, I think a lot of us probably know Zach Pliggy, but he got me in touch with an artist, and so I'm sort of, the Twitch channel's on hiatus while I put everything back together with my own custom art for it. But you can find me on Twitch. It's Mezza, Mezza 503.
And there will be a link in the show notes once you send me it. So I'll put it in the show notes when I publish this in a week. All right, and that goes to my plugs. If you enjoyed this episode, we have covered other Mega Man episodes throughout the show. We did Mega Man 3 as our mini number 10. I'm pretty sure it just came out not too long ago, so definitely go check that out if you like Mega Man. We also did the Mega Man Powered Up mini number 6. Really, really good Mega Man game. Good episode 2. Check that out. Mega Man X2, episode 99. And once my thing loads, I can give you more information. Nope, it's not. Okay. Well, I know we did Mega Man X. I don't remember what episode that is.
It's like low 80s, I think.
Mega Man X is episode 85. Mega Man Let the Games Begin, the comic, is comic 18. We cover the first comic or something. So, and Mega Man 1 and 2 is episode 25. Long time ago. So if you need more Mega Man, there's Mega Man. Also want to say we have started a Patreon. It only took me 2 years, but I finally created a Patreon. I'm not sure what we're doing yet with it, but if you want to support us, there will be a link in the show notes starting now with a Patreon. I will be adding stuff. I know I want to add a poll, but I still got to figure out with Mike and figure out what we're going to do. But it exists. So if you want to give us money, we will accept your money.
Is it just games my mom found on Patreon?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I can't really remember.
I'm Googling that right now and I can't find it.
Okay, maybe it's not completely activated, but it will be by the time you hear this, hopefully.
You probably want to Google this first just so you can see what I'm seeing.
Okay.
It's, just you Google games my mom found Patreon for yourself.
Okay. Did I find stuff I don't want to find?
You might.
Let's see what comes up. Oh, I see. Adult games. Okay. It does exist. So don't Google it. Just follow the link in the show notes. Because I don't create naughty games. Because I don't know how to create games in the first place. That's kind of funny, though. But it should be up. I don't have any, because I haven't officially told anybody about it yet. This is the first time on the air that we're even mentioning it. So that could be why it doesn't have anything. Like, there's a long time after Game My Mom was created before it even showed up in Google. You have to put out enough content or stuff to get Google to start finding you. So that could be part of it. That's kind of funny, though. An ongoing joke now, I think.
I used to have a podcast that was pretty successful 7 or 8 years ago, and I went looking for it, and there's so many podcasts now called The Happy Hour that it's just impossible to find mine.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
It happens.
That's the the internet, too, when things go away. All right, and I want to give a shout out to our awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Bubby, a.k.a. Mike Stoney from CP Bite the Bullet, songs The Cool Kid Squad. So definitely go check him out. And if you enjoyed this episode, please listen to our other episode. We cover games, comics. We cover film. We're going to the MCU, and we just released Doctor Strange somewhere. Doctor Strange came out not so long ago. Check that out. I can't remember what's coming out next time you're hearing this. But oh wait, isn't Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the one after Doctor Strange, Mike? Do you remember?
I think so.
Oh,
I believe so.
if you want to hear me bitch, listen to that episode. If you want to hear me bitch for 2 hours, that's the episode to listen to. So definitely check that out. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We are on YouTube, so find us there. Because we need more subscribers, even though I have over 100, so won't let me give me that custom URL for some reason. So please follow us on there. And that about wraps up everything I think I need to say. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.